Modern men have been lied to. You were told, be available, be kind, be open, text back instantly, show her you care, always be reachable, emotionally, physically, mentally. And what did it get you? You became forgettable, exhausted, and worst of all, replaceable. But what if I told you that the moment you stop being emotionally available to everyone, everything changes? This isn't just a Stoic idea. Carl Jung, one of the most powerful minds in psychology, warned us, the more you are unknowable, the more others will try to know you. Today we go deep into the secret world of psychological energy, boundaries, and masculine presence, and how silence, detachment, and withdrawal are the ultimate tools of power. 1. The curse of always being available. Being too available kills attraction. It kills curiosity. It kills respect. You become predictable, and predictability is the enemy of desire. Carl Jung understood this in a different language, psychic energy. He said, when you give your energy away without intention, it dissolves your identity. Stoicism agrees. Marcus Aurelius warned, be tolerant with others and strict with yourself. But what do modern men do? They're strict with no one, not even themselves. She texts, I need space. He panics. He writes paragraphs. He becomes more available. And in doing so, he kills the last ounce of respect she had for him. Because when you're always emotionally present, always ready to explain yourself, apologize, and overinvest, you become invisible. Mystery dies. Respect dies. 2. Jung's warning, energy is not infinite. Jung believed in a core principle. Libido is psychic energy. It fuels your thoughts, goals, and actions. But here's what no one tells you. When you spend your energy obsessing over a woman, constantly being available to people who wouldn't do the same for you, you leak power. This is why you feel drained, even if you didn't physically exert yourself. Stoicism mirrors this truth. Epictetus taught, we suffer not from the events in our lives, but from our judgment about them. When you judge availability as kindness, you're mistaken. Often it's self-sabotage in disguise. Availability should be earned, not given freely. You have a limited well of energy. If you pour it out to anyone who asks, don't be surprised when your life feels hollow. 3. You teach people how to treat you. By what you tolerate, Carl Jung wrote, what you resist persists, but what you accept transforms. You've tolerated disrespect. You've tolerated being ghosted. You've tolerated inconsistent communication, and you justify it with, she's just busy, she needs time. Maybe I was too much? You taught her that your energy is cheap. Stoicism teaches us to operate from a place of self-command. If you don't set emotional boundaries, the world will set them for you. If she can disappear for 3 days and you respond like nothing happened, she learns, I can treat him however I want. He's always there. You want power? Create cost. Make them pay for your time, not in money, but in effort. 4. Attention is currency, and you're being robbed. Your attention is more valuable than your money. Carl Jung said that whatever you focus on grows. So if your mind is always on her, her beauty, her absence, her problems, she grows in power. You shrink. This is psychological inflation. You inflate others while deflating yourself. Marcus Aurelius had the cure. The things you think about determine the quality of your mind. Every second you waste explaining yourself, chasing closure, texting first, overthinking her cold replies, you lose masculine energy. Because masculine energy expands by mission. Feminine energy expands through attention. You want her attention? Take yours away. 5. Silence isn't weakness, it's mastery. Most men speak to fill the silence. They explain themselves to feel safe. They react quickly because they fear loss. Silence terrifies the weak. But to the stoic and the psychologically strong, Silence is control. Jung said the unconscious communicates in symbols, dreams, and silence. When you go silent, you create space, and space makes people project. She starts wondering, why hasn't he texted? Is he seeing someone else? Did he move on? Your silence becomes haunting. Your detachment becomes magnetic. In Stoic philosophy, speech is a tool, not an addiction. 6. The shadow you ignore controls. Carl Jung's greatest teaching was this: until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate. Most men don't realize that their need to be available comes from insecurity, from fear, from the desire to be seen as good. This is your shadow, and it runs the show until you face it. The Stoics didn't have this term, but they practiced it, reflecting daily, confronting irrational fears, training emotional resilience. The man who cannot be alone is ruled by invisible forces, but the man who can detach, sit in silence, and watch his pain becomes untouchable. 7. Your boundaries are your power. Jung said that strong personalities have strong boundaries. Boundaries are not about saying no to others. They're about saying yes to your higher self. Stoicism agrees. True freedom comes from self-rule. Every time you answer her late-night text after she ignored you for a week, you weaken your boundaries. Every time you cancel your plan for someone who wouldn't do the same, you betray your mission. You want to become magnetic? Withdraw. Set clear rules and enforce them with silence. 8. Withdraw to reclaim the self. The modern world tells you, stay connected, stay accessible, but accessibility is slavery. It disconnects you from yourself. Jung said individuation, becoming who you truly are, requires isolation, time away from noise, time without external validation. Stoicism teaches the same. Look well into thyself. There is a source of strength which will always spring up if thou wilt always look. When you withdraw, you meet the only person who matters, you. 9. When you stop explaining yourself, you start leading. Leadership is silent. You don't explain your worth. You prove it through restraint. Carl Jung and Stoicism both saw the trap of overexplaining. It's rooted in guilt, in fear of being misunderstood. But here's the truth. You will always be misunderstood by those who are not meant for you. So stop apologizing. Stop writing essays. Stop reacting to every test she throws your way. Let her wonder. Let them all wonder. Because the moment you stop explaining, you start leading. 10. The moment you leave. They notice you want to make her feel your presence? Leave, not with words, not with anger. Just disappear. Withdraw your availability, withdraw your presence, withdraw your validation. Jungian psychology says the psyche reacts strongest to absence, and Stoicism says we must be indifferent to externals. So when she pulls away, you pull inward. Don't chase, don't explain, don't post stories to provoke her. You focus on your craft, you grow stronger, you evolve. And the moment she looks back, it's too late. You're not the same man anymore. Carl Jung and the Stoics didn't teach us to be cold. They taught us to be centered. The world will always try to steal your energy, your availability, your presence. But remember, the man who is unavailable to nonsense is irresistible to everything meaningful. Be slow to speak. Be selective with your attention. And above all, withdraw when necessary. Because when you stop being available, everything changes. If this message struck something deep in you, it means you were ready to hear it. Comment below. I will guard my energy and never forget. Silence is power. Boundaries are a strength. Presence is sacred. Become untouchable. Stay stoic. Stay free.